Did humans always eat animals, do you think?
Yeah, since they could.
It'd be hard not to, I think. If you saw, I'm trying to think if I went back in time, that would be cool too. You go back, some guy.
The first dude to eat meat.
You'd
have to go back some far ass. You'd have to go back.
That's fine. We can go back that far.
There's an idea that like in anthropology there's a debate about at what point in time did you have behaviorally and anatomically modern humans. This is not, we're getting way outside of biblical understanding, but we're talking about like from the non-biblical science world.
Okay.
So a stepping outside of like the biblical confines and going into like purely scientific world. Some people think that you could have grabbed a dude 75,000 years ago, put him in, grabbed him at birth, and he could learn to fly an airplane. He could go to college, do well, blend in. You'd see him going down the street and wouldn't think anything of it.
Yeah, be a pie cap or whatever.
Now, absolutely. That was a hunting consumer of large quantities of animal flesh. That was.
Yeah.
So
there's no doubt at that time period that people were really snacking on animals.
Oh yeah. And then there's this other idea. And you know how you wind up liking the ideas that confirm your own
For sure.
There's this other idea that the great in a scientific understanding that when humans had this kind of renaissance, like we seem to have suddenly kind of figured a bunch of shit out. And some people correlate that to us becoming predominantly to eating huge amounts of animal flesh. It's so efficient and so full of energy. That was our intellectual renaissance. Like that's when humans became bright and developed like religion and organizational structure and language and all that, is when we discovered meat eating.
Right, because we had enough energy not only to satiate our bodies, but then also for the rest of us to maybe flourish some, because we finally had a new source that was really replenishing us constantly.
Yeah, we were broken from a cycle of needing to eat low grade, low calorie food all the time.
Yeah. Right. So then you're constantly just sitting there snacking, whereas otherwise you can have a nice meal, then you can sit back and kick it and think of something creative.
Like a deer is on this really strict schedule of like eating a bunch of low grade food, sitting, ruminating, eating low grade, So
deer's always
there's this idea. Yeah, that's the idea that like, and of course I like it because it reinforces like that. That's what I like to eat, deer meat and stuff. So when I hear that, I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. That's right.
That's the truth.
Because we just like the stuff that.
Oh yeah, we want to support our own ideas and causes, our own truths.
Here's a weird deal. I wrote this one time, and I wrote this in a forward to one of my cookbooks. I was writing it. You could have been like at a certain time. You could have been in Spain.
Okay.
You could have been in Spain. You could have been in the Iberian Peninsula. You could have been in northern Israel, and see a campfire, often burning in the distance, and you would have had to have asked yourself, what kind of human is that? Do you follow me?
Like you mean you would have had to been like what race or class or something like that?
What kind? What species of human?
Oh, like is that somebody who's like kind of like?
Is it Neanderthal dudes?
Somebody's a little more monkey?
Yeah, is it like Neanderthal dudes? Is it like the same way that we talk about
somebody
deer.
Somebody eating a banana, somebody who has a sandals at least
somebody eating one of me.
Yeah.
Like the same way you got like white-tailed deer and mule, like where I live, we have white-tailed deer and mule deer. They're so similar. Like it takes, I don't want to say a trained eye to tell them apart, but someone from another country would look and it might take them a few days before they're like, oh, they're different.
Yeah.
They're just gonna see and be like, whatever, deer. But at a time, it'd be that you'd be like, oh no, there's the one kind of human, and there's these other kinds of humans.
Like fuck, that guy's about 2,000 years back.
Like, and they don't mix, or they get together, or they kidnap each other, whatever.
They still have bad breath, all that.
Yeah, but when you see that you're like Joe having that like as high as 50% more Neanderthals, because it's we under duress. Was it like an act of passion
that made you evolve?
No, I'm saying that drove humans and Neanderthals to interbreed. Was it coercion?
Oh, you think they're separate beings? Or you think there's one more advanced in the
Neanderthals were a far more successful species than we are. Like Neanderthals were in Europe far longer then our ancestors were in Europe.
But aren't Neanderthals our ancestors though?
No, I wouldn't. You can't really. I wouldn't really. Yes, in that it seems like direct human ancestors, like Homo sapien.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like at times they were able to have viable offspring.
Mm-hmm.
That at times Neanderthal people that were in Europe far longer.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Europe long, hundreds of thousands of years before modern humans made the scene.
Got it.
And because of everyone having a little bit of introgression from Neanderthals, this is not my field of study. I'm just a curious onlooker.
Let's take a look right here. Ancient human species, including Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, Denisovans, and others, did interbreed as they encountered one another during the Middle and Upper Paleolithic periods, leaving detectable genetic legacies in modern populations. Dude, I didn't even know this. I thought, have you seen that chart where it's one man like that, and then he has a deceptive
chart.
He has a briefcase, and then he has Nikes on or whatever.
That's a deceptive chart,
dude. That's fucking. I can't even believe that.
This is one of the main things I talk about with my kids.
Wow,
trying to explain. Bro, they're like, what do you mean we came from monkeys? I'm like, no, that's not. Don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
So,
what I want to start talking about my next hour comedy is about the middle monkeys. Like, why don't you ever see that middle monkey? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see a monkey, and then you'll see a dude, you know, who's a mechanic, right? But you never see that middle motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
What happened to them all?
The dude who's just scratching under one arm, wrench in the other. Fucking just, they don't allow him to work the register because he's just like, whoo, whoo. You know, but he can change a tire in a fucking, just with his lips. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that chimp man, that middle man. So I'm just amazed.
They're locked away somewhere.
Yeah. But dude, I never thought that you'd be sitting there and you'd be like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, you'd be like, uh-oh.
You and your buddy are like, dog, let's go do a lap, right?
We better go figure out what kind of dudes it is. But the fact that they interbred.
Why didn't they tell us this?
Well, I think that, you might have missed that part.
Oh, but I would have known that.
Let me get to my point, though. The fact that they interbred
unreal
leads to this question of, was it a romantic bonding? Was it like a romantic, right? Was it something that was like under coercion?
It was coercion.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, was it like a sort of like conqueror's choice kind of shit?
Yeah, it was like when those guys
or was it that they would like meet and over like the Capulets and, you know, from like Romeo and Juliet's family.
No,
like,
Stephen, it was not like that.
They'd meet and come together despite family condemnations and produce offspring.
No, it was like when those nurses that don't treat people well at those hospitals take advantage of them. That's what I think it was.
I do wonder. That'd be another good time machine burner upper right there.
You just go back and but here's the tough thing. If a person who was more mentally advanced, hypothetically a Homo sapien, if they tried to like, oh, here's just a Neanderthal, let's get a little bit of love, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
because they're easy to trick.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're not easy to fucking just pin down and make love to, I bet.
You got to trick them.
But even if you trick
shells and stuff.
Right. Even if you trick them with a little wind chime or something, get their attention, I bet you can't. You're going to have to, how quick can you make love and still enjoy it and get away from them? I wouldn't. That's not a risk I'm taking.
No, it's time machine questions.
I'm not. That's not a risk. I'm someone that hasn't brushed their hair in 70,000 years. I'm going to try to fuck them. I'm out.
You know what I want to put out a call to? You don't mind me doing a call for a guest I've been trying to find on
like
your
a
show, but I
want
to find them. So it's like I'm using your audience to find someone that I might not find on my own.
Okay.
What I've been trying to do for years is I've been trying to find a really, really good Neanderthal.
Mm-hmm.
You can say Neanderthal or tall. You sound a little bit smarter, I understand.
When you say
My
Neanderthal,
understanding is you sound a little better to say Neanderthal. It's a valley in Germany.
It is?
So, yeah.
It's a valley in Germany?
Yeah, and you sound a little more... Like, I'm more likely to get a good guest by saying Neanderthal because they're like, this dude knows his shit.
Yeah.
I want to find a really good Neanderthal behavioralist.
Hard R in that Neanderthal, too.
A Neanderthal researcher
to
come on the show and talk about what they know. But it can't be just like a writer who spent a month researching.
Mm-hmm.
It's because our audience doesn't like those kinds.
Right.
It's got to be someone that lives and breathes it. It can't be like an interloper.
Yeah.
Like I need like a verbose, animated Neanderthal research.
I don't want some halfway house. I want a fucking trap house that people have been shooting up in for 50 years with information about motherfuckers who would just like, who could digest a stone if they need to.
Yeah, like that, like a really good Neanderthal person to come on the show. And you just reach out to us and I want to interview you.
Okay, there you go, guys. For Steve, they would like that. And here's what I would.
Do you have a lot of Neanderthal researchers on that listen to the show?
I mean, I bet we have some consumers who would rank high on a Neander scale or whatever. But I'll say this: I want somebody who has a high amount on their 23andMe, an extreme.
No, I don't want. They don't need to have that.
I know.
You want.
That's what I want. I want
highest.
I want somebody who's 80%.
Good idea.
80% Neanderthal.
Yeah, find the highest guy.
And when I get them, I'm just going to send them over to you too, Steve, because I think you would do well, and because you might be able to notice some patterns that they have or behaviors that they have.
Yeah. If I had low. Who's the highest?
Who's the highest? Somebody has to have the highest Neanderthal amount.
I know that there is I was reading a book. I read a lot of anthropology books.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it was the 7 Daughters of Eve. I was reading a book about human history.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, they were pointing to some controversy around this question.
Okay.
It's not always, people don't always look upon this. This is not something that everybody likes to talk about.
Really?
Where you see, like, as much as I'd be proud of it or whatever, there are places in the world where these geneticists see
more intals.
Yeah, more Neanderthal in certain areas. And it's a sensitive subject. It winds up being a sensitive subject. So you might wind up having not only a fascinating show, but you might have a show that courts a certain level of controversy.
I like that.
Yeah. But what I've found, because I am interested in this subject, I've found that there's a sort of trend in academics there's a trend in academics of being that we're like rebranding Neanderthals. So it winds up being like, oh, they had art. Oh, they like wore jewelry. Oh, they were free divers.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like every like.
Why do you think we're doing that? Do you think that?
I don't know why. It's like because there used to be this idea that there were these like thuggish brutes.
Right.
You know, but there's like if you kind of follow Neanderthal news, like I do, there's a theme.
They have a fucking Twitter feed.
Yeah, there's like a theme of this kind of like this delight, like this kind of delighted realization about how complex their culture was, how complex their society was. It'd be like you don't find like, man, it turns out they were dumber than we thought.
Right.
That's not like a news story. It would be like, oh, they appreciated the finer things in life.
Well, it's like the branding. It's like even when it goes back to like you were talking about the bald eagle, it's like just that PR, that spin. I wonder if
they have a very, very good PR agency.
Wow.
Neanderthals right now, or I have a good one on retainer, and they're getting a lot of good ink about that they liked art and movies, you know, and it's like they're just getting cooler and cooler. They're getting cooler and cooler.
Oh yeah, they love Stand By Me. You're like, that's insane, dude.
I'm telling you, dude. Start paying attention to Neanderthal news, and you'll see what I'm talking about. When I get my guest on, he'll tell you all about it.
Oh, I'll
send you the episode.
I love that you're gonna have that, man. Dude, what would be better? Listening to
of course, I could talk about humans all day long, bro. But you know, so
listening to 2 Neanderthals talk about themselves, they wouldn't know a lot, but they would try pretty hard.
Yeah,
that could be us, dude. That's awesome.
That's a good point.